Hello everyone and welcome to this month's devlog, where today I'll be showing off a very big feature that we have delayed for quite some time, but I believe that now we are finally ready to show it off. And it's something to do with April's devlog actually, and it mainly takes place inside of the labyrinth. Now, in April I showed you what happens when you stay on the praying path. And you crouch and you get spirits, which can be stronger or weaker based on your luck. But I didn't show you intentionally what happens when you don't already have all magic. Now, if you crouch and you look anywhere, I like looking up because it's pretty, but some might want to look down as well. It really depends. You get a message in your chat which tells you that you have been chosen by six different greater spirits, 5 of which are the normal ones, and then you have one that is either light or dark. You can't have both at the same time. I mean, you can get it later, but that's just semantics. Anyways, so what happens when you get a greater spirit of an element is that you gain all of the available magic that has to do with this element. And since this is elemental magic, you cannot cast it without a spirit. This will also tie in with the next month's devlog, because it has to do with a thing that you might see in my chat, which is the hero egg. Now, on to the next scene. Everything is ready. I can at least be honored to take part in my evolution. Shall we then? Not let a single one of you bastards escape. May the anger of the gods sear through your very souls. Megiddo! There would be no opening bell to signal the beginning of the quiet massacre. No faith in any gods would be strong enough to have any meaning in the face of Megiddo. No one let a single one of you survive. You that other worlder that attacked us? Die. Will this be enough to evolve? How many have died? Yes. Hello everyone and welcome to the next part, which is going to be a magic showcase. And the way I'm going to do this is in a duel between Angry Duck 427, who has 2.2 thousand HP, and KKB 97, who also has 2.2 thousand HP. Now I'm trying to have both of them not be killed instantly, and this is how I'm doing that. Anyways, we're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1, go! They're both casting. We see a use of a magma strike, that's Hellflare. Hellflare is a very powerful ability that deals tons of damage. That's Darkness Cube. We have Solar Rain, which is a light spell. Hellfire? My bad. We have the use of Blizzard here, which is a wide range AoE. Someone is calling out Megiddo again. That was Earth Spike. We see Kiki going back to Darkness Cube, and that is Flare Circle. Look at that beauty. It's a wide range AoE spell that deals fire damage and is very deadly. You see the use of Darkness Cube. Now another cool thing about Darkness Cube is that it also blinds your opponents. And as you can see, it stays for quite a long time. Angry Duck has Shrunk. That is an ability of the Space Spirit, I believe. But Angry Duck here is very much slowed due to the skill effect of Blizzard. As you can see, Blizzard lasts for quite a long time. It's quite a good AoE spell. Kiki really has them here in a bind. As you can see, this is what Darkness Cube looks like from the inside. Completely dark, can't see anything. Didn't really see what that was. I believe that was Solar Rain. Yeah, that's more Solar Rain. I don't think Angry Duck is doing very good here because he's resorted to spamming one spell, going back to his highest damage ones. Both being damaged slowly. We see Kiki using another Dark Cube. Angry is casting. He's using the highest damage spell possible. I believe this one deals 500 damage. That's a Darkness Cannon, or a variation of that. We see more Darkness Cube. Solar Rain was shot there, but just disappeared somewhere. He seems to be on the offensive here. See another Hell Flare being shot out, but Kiki manages to dodge by a very small amount. Angry Duck's effect has gone away, and he's back at normal size and normal hitting size as well. Now, this spell would usually also create a small lava effect, but I believe that due to griefing, the griefing game rule, it doesn't. Now, everything Kiki has to do here is nothing really. They just have to not get hit. Ow, they don't really miss. Oh, they didn't dodge. They didn't dodge, and Angry Duck wins this with a whole 255 HP. That was quite a duel. Thank you both for being here, and we are on to the next part. In this segment, I'll be showing you the elements and how you can wield them in Tensura Reincarnated. Getting straight into it with Fire. Firebolt is the most basic spell you can use of the fire element, with a quick cast time that can be shortened even more with Mastery or through Chant Annulment. The spell itself is a simple one, where you launch a projectile that acts like the fire charge, lighting up a small area and dealing 40 damage on contact. For some reason it doesn't really show me the damage. 40 damage. Or, if you throw it at the floor, it will create a bunch of fire blocks. The second one I will show off is Flame Circle, which our YouTube members might know because it was posted in the community chat. It creates a wide magic circle, which then spews out fire, dealing around 80 damage per second and draining oxygen. Now personally, I wouldn't want to be in there, but if you have fire resistance, you go for it. The second one is Water. With this element, you can cast spells like Megiddo, which has been shown already. And the second one, which I will show off, is Acid Rain. Acid Rain, well, Acid Rain does what you would expect it to do, dealing 20 damage per hit in a wide area around you. And with Mastery, you can increase the radius and reduce the cast time. Now let's move on to something a bit more solid, which is Earth. Now, a cool Earth spell that I want to show you guys is Magma Surge. It sounds fun just saying it, and in practice it's even better. It throws a magma projectile that deals 200 damage on contact, and also spawns a lava ball which does disappear after a few seconds. Dang. As you can see, it deals 315 damage, and then of course lava deals basic fire damage. Now, wind. The first wind spell that I will show you is Wind Blade. It's an interesting spell, to say the least, with an ability to deal 20 damage on hit and knock back an enemy, while being mostly used to maintain distance from an opponent due to its quick casting time. With Chant Annulment, you can really spam it, which means that you can deal a lot of damage while also giving enemies knockback, which can really be useful in those clutch moments when the boss or the enemy is right next to you. It would even be useful against a warden. So here I'm going to spawn a warden, and let's see. Well, it does not really do knockback due to its knockback resistance. You can still do a lot of damage if you have aim, which I unfortunately do not. The second spell is called Electro Blast. For those of you that wanted Veldora's Kamehameha Wave, this is going to be a moment to rejoice, as it is here and it deals 250 damage and hits the mob or the player with Paralysis 2. It shoots a wide projectile, which doesn't work on broken target dummies. It deals 200 damage in a straight line, and it hits the entity with paralysis, which of course either slows it down or completely stops it from moving. The spell I'll be showing you from the Light Spirit is called Solar Flare. You'll be able to use this to blind your enemies and deal a decent bit of damage to regular mobs, which is 200. But for undead, as you might expect, it deals critical damage with a 3 times multiplier, and of course giving them 3 debuffs. So now I will show what that looks like. As you can see, it's a 60-second cooldown, but it does deal 200 damage in a wide AoE range. Now onto the opposite element, which would be the darkness. Here we have True Darkness, which is a truly special skill, consuming all light and giving the debuff of Warden's Blindness in a 30 block radius, while also dealing damage and giving entities inside Insanity. Now the way Insanity works is that it stops you from sleeping, and it can move items in your inventory, as well as giving you whispers and extra creepy sound effects. Now onto the last element, which is the space element. I'll be showing you the spell Swipe. Now this is a fun spell, as fun as a spell can be. Swipe allows the player to either teleport themselves forward in I believe this is 15-ish blocks. But basically, if you aim the spell at an entity which is not a broken dummy, it will deal 200 damage and teleport them behind you, or of course it'll teleport their dying corpse behind you and just drop the items in front. See, in a wide range it pulls everything backwards and it deals a lot of damage. Let's see it being used on a warden. Here we have a warden, and as you can see, you can pull it back and you deal 200 damage. Or of course, if you're like me, you can just one-shot it. Anyways, on to the next segment, which is the structure showcases.
There, in front of us, we can see a live adult specimen of the lizardman species. It's just walking around, minding its own business. what we're gonna do is we're gonna go behind it. We're gonna stealthily murder it. Wouldn't want anyone running away. Good. Now we have earned fish. Now I can finally eat. After 75 days and 30 nights. Don't ask. Anyways, welcome to the structure showcase. This is structure number 1, which is the Lizardman Village. You know, for a village, you would usually associate the term with something above ground, something like a villager village. But no, this is underground, and it consists of the first part. This is usually over the ground, or just slightly under it. Here we have hover lizards. They're kind of cool. They're like horses. You can put chests on them. They can do a lot of stuff. Many hover lizards. And of course hay, which you can then turn into bread, which is what I would do personally if I was in survival. Anyways, down the stairs we go. So you can see this was beautifully made by our builders. And then we get to the main level where most of the lizardmen are as well. I'm gonna use a multi-layer barrier here. So as you can see, this is very large, and just like the previous buildings we have shown, and just like the next one, which is the Goblin Village, these are procedurally generated and they can spawn to be smaller or bigger depending on random numbers being thrown. I believe this is a sleeping room of sorts due to the high amount of thatch beds. There's also thatch blocks and some barrels which haven't generated their inventory, but it's mostly filled with like fish, seagrass, sponges, some metal tools and armor, lots of sponges, lots of iron helmets, some monster leather as well. So this was a storage room slash sleeping room for the lizardman, and now we go on to the next room. Look at these massive hallways. Like I would get lost here. Here we have a smithy, and this room is filled with everything you need to craft new equipment. Everything from weapons hanging on the walls to armor stands with different types of armor. Everything from monster leather to metal, silver, and then chainmail. Some lava in cauldrons and a smithing bench, which, as some of you might know, is actually used as a smithing bench, an anvil, and to craft new items depending on your previously found blueprints. There's also a few blast furnaces which you can steal and bring with you, or you can of course turn this whole place into your base. Really depends on what you want to do. There's also some raw iron and iron ore. Next up we have nothing. It's just a dead end, probably used to confuse enemies, of course. Then we have a throne room with a mud brick throne and some guardians around it. Here we have a lizardman that possesses the cool spear. This spear was it shown? This spear was likely shown already, but if it wasn't, it has some cool attacks. It works like a trident, but it also has an additional feature if you're flying. Here we have another big room, or maybe I just went back to the... As I've said, this place is quite confusing. Anyways, on to the next structure. Here we are in my creative super flat world. I wasn't really rolling well on the Goblin Village structures in my single player world, so I just went into a super flat world so that it would generate all nicely, even if I did use the command for it. Anyways, this is what a Goblin Village looks like. Disregard that in the background, that's from a different mod. See, here we have a main tent slash house slash hut of sorts, which has some average items you might find in a villager chest. as well as some very loud mobs. Then we have 2 big sleeping chambers with a lot of thatch beds where you can put your respawn point. It works exactly like a normal bed. And then we have a few smaller houses here with thatch beds. Well, it's not really a house, I would call it a hut. There we have a different one. As I've mentioned before, all of this is randomly generated. So one village might only have this big house. This big house is like the bedrock you build on. So it always spawns, and then usually there's at least one house with it. Here we have more tents, huts. Here we have a lot of the smaller huts. Here we just have one hut and one big hut, like the chieftain's hut. I've said hut way too many times. There's also a few campfires and some goblins which you can kill or don't have to. Really depends. I don't like them because I watched Goblin Slayer and I'm traumatized. But like, it's all up to you. Don't watch Goblin Slayer. It's gonna traumatize you. Anyways, that was it for today. I want to thank you all for watching and supporting us through this long development process. I also want to especially thank our Patreons and our YouTube members. You guys are the ones that made this possible. So, if you want to support us even more, go check out the link in the bio. And it's not OnlyFans, I promise. And go follow our Twitter to possibly influence future devlogs like the one in July or the one after that in August. I hope to see you all again next month. Goodbye.